except our community needs women gynecologists. Now we don't need that anymore, so I can open up. Now there's a lot more women, so it's okay. So those are three things: your family, your community, and your own needs. All of those three go into choosing what job you do. And I really like this picture. The one who can bow down to Allah can stand up to anything. So be inspired. You can do whatever you choose to do. Shadow, go. If you're interested in something, go try it out, see if you like it. If you don't, then you can try something else. But keep your options open and try new things. Okay, say one more thing? Okay. Best source for advice, in my opinion, is not the biosci office or the counselor office of whatever major you're in. Go to people who have done it. And I think there's a hadith in that line too, is go to the person with experience. And there's a few more. Okay, there's one more. By the way, great resource for everything. Okay, but some other person who's tried it, who's done it before you, who has experience, and they will really give you a good idea of what to expect. And any questions you have, they will really be able to help you out. So if you can ask me, I forgot to put my email address, but I'll give that, whoever needs it, email me questions if you want to know. And I was here, so I know all the classes that they offer. If you want to know what, and I had someone email me last year, what should I take my first year? Okay, what should I take my second year? Should I take bio and then for beginning or the end? It's fun. Any questions you have, I'm willing to answer. I know there's a lot of other people here. There's always someone who's older than you who's tried it. So that's a good option to consider. Okay, I will sit down.
All right, our next speaker is Farhan Simri.
Okay, well, assalamu alaikum everyone. So who's graduating this year? Just so we get an idea. Okay. Who's planning on going to grad school? Who's planning on looking for a job? Good luck for that. I'll get into it. Okay, so I graduated in 2006 as an electrical engineer. I did my master's. I did my bachelor's and my master's here. So Alhamdulillah, it was a very good experience. I really miss the times I had here. And I also miss the free time, all the free time I had here, because nowadays I don't get too much. And just like some of the speakers already said, going into industry can be a little tough. And I think there's a lot of opportunities here to mentally and physically prepare you for that. And I'll get into that as well. And let's start. Before I talk about careers, I'd like to zoom out a little bit and just talk about defining yourself. Because when you're in a career where you're working, somewhere between 40 to 60 to 70 hours a week, if you don't like what you do, you're going to burn out. If you're frustrated, you're really not going to enjoy the work you do. If you're not interested, then you're just going to bash your head against the wall or just fall asleep during work. I know people have done that before. So by definition, we're really social creatures. And I think that's the best way to describe a person. And with that definition, we really have a million different relationships throughout this world. Most importantly, we have a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but also we have a relationship with ourselves, relationship with the people, families, friends, relatives in this world, as well as relationship with the next life. And even, relationship with ice cream or something, right? So, but the most important relationship is definitely one with Allah, because the relationship that you have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to determine the type of relationships you have with everyone else and everything else in this world, as well as in the next life. So for instance, if you're thankful or grateful to Allah, you'll see it in your actions when you are good to your family and good to your friends, and so on. Right? So once you understand that, once you have a concrete relationship with Allah, it really opens up a lot of doors for you. It really takes away a lot of grief and a lot of despair and things, which are natural human emotions, but when taken to extreme can really have a detrimental effect on your life. The first thing that you should have is really a tawakkul to Allah, which basically means having a reliance or a trust on Allah. Because once you know that Allah is the one that provides your risk, your provisions, your sustenance, then you're really not worried about the future, right? You know, a lot of people are like, how am I going to do good? How am I going to do in this test? When am I going to get a job? And so on. If that fear is just taken away from your heart, you really focus on what you really want to do, right? You really focus on studying on the exam, doing well in an interview, and you really focus on the task at hand, not at what the outcome of that task is going to be. And there was a narration. There's one time when the Prophet ﷺ was in the desert and he met a Bedouin, right? And the Bedouin got off his camel and he simply left the camel there without tying it down. So the Prophet ﷺ was like, what are you doing, right? You got to tie it down. So the Bedouin's like, well, I have trust in Allah. He's like, okay, Alhamdulillah, that's good, but also tie the camel down. Do your part. And so the idea is that you really need to focus on your part rather than the outcome. And because once you have that, you really have confidence in what you do. And it really saves you a lot of time, right? Because any type of grief or anxiety that you have, it really just makes it hard for you, to do your daily tasks. Okay, so now that you know who you are, right? You want to know where you want to go, right? So, just by show of hands, who's ever written down a plan of what they want to do? Okay, cool. And how about a short-term plan? For the week. Go to the beach. Yeah. Well, what's really nice about writing down the plan is that you really treat yourself as a resource, right? As a vessel. And what you do is you make sure that you're not overutilized. Make sure you don't burn out, because then everything just crumbles. You also make sure you're not underutilized, so you don't have any regrets later on. Oh man, what's the time watching Looney Tunes? I wish I did something more useful that time, right? And so here's my plan that I did. And as you can see, it includes my past, but also includes my future as well. So a couple things you can learn from what I did. Always think outside the box. A lot of people are like, okay, once I finish my undergrad, then I'm going to go find a job, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, right? It's always sequential. But try to always think outside the box, because just because you're an undergrad doesn't mean you can't do research, you can't become a grad student, you can't become an intern and so forth. And again, what this lets you do is it properly utilizes your time. Okay. And I guess in my case, I was an undergrad for 4 years. I was a graduate school for 4 years. But what I did was, once I got settled in undergrad, I started looking at the next thing, right? What's the next thing I want to do? So I started taking grad classes. Once I finished my undergrad, then I became a grad student, an official grad student. Once I got settled into that, then alhamdulillah, I got an internship while I was a grad student. And once I got settled into work, they gave me a full-time offer. So that kind of worked out too. And once I finished all my grad school, I'm like, kind of like twiddling my thumbs on the weekends. So I'm like, I'm bored down here, right? So, you know,